This how-to video will show the process for taking a measurement of the reading using the micrometer. This is important when completing the normalization process or taking a length measurement of the stretch applied to your tissues. In order to take a measurement using the micrometer, you will need to take 3 separate measurements based on the center line on the sleeve and the position of the thimble. The first reading you need to take is the number of tick marks that is above the center line of the sleeve. In this case, we see the 5, the 6, and the 7. So the first reading would be 7,000. The second reading is indicated by the tick marks below the center line. The second reading will either be 0 or 500, depending on if you can see the tick mark that is after the first reading you took. In this case, we see the 7,000, and then we can just make out the tick mark that is below the center line that is still shown before the thimble. In this case, we would count that as a tick mark, so our second reading would be 500. The third measurement is where the center line on the sleeve hits the markings on the thimble. In this case, the line runs right into the 29th mark. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Now, the one thing you have to keep in mind is that these marks are 10 microns. So rather than being 29, this is 290. Therefore, our 3 readings are 7,000, 500, 290. So our micrometer reading would be 7,790. The thimble contains markings from 0 to 49. With each mark being 10 microns, this amounts to 500 microns every time you do a full turn on the thimble. Therefore, every time that you do a full turn, you cross the 49 back to 0, you are either going to be going to a new 1,000 or a new 500 below. So if you are at 40 or 45, approaching 50, and you're taking a measurement, you may be able to start seeing the next line, but you should not count it until you cross the 0 point. We will show one more example of reading the micrometer. You can see in the image the mark 10 above the line. This means that the first reading is 10,000. Second, we will look for the mark under the center line. We cannot see the mark, therefore the second reading should be 0. Lastly, the center line hits the thimble at the mark of 38 on the thimble. Therefore, this is 380, which is our final reading. When we add these numbers up, we have 10,380.